All right, today we are diving into a book that, and I'm not exaggerating here, has literally changed millions of lives. It's Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. And it all boils down to this really radical question. What if the source of all our pain and the key to our freedom wasn't actually about our life circumstances, but was all happening inside our own minds? It's a huge idea, and it all kicks off with one single, desperate thought. I cannot live with myself any longer. I mean, have you ever felt that? That exact thought is actually where Eckhart Tolle's whole journey started, right at a moment of total despair. But then it hit him, this profound realization. He thought, wait a minute, if I can't live with myself, then who is who? There must be two of me here, right? There's the I, and then there's the self that the I can't stand. And that little observation points to this fundamental split, this deep conflict inside pretty much all of us.
So what exactly is this self that we're struggling with? Well, Tolle says it's this problem we all share, that nonstop voice inside our heads. You know, that constant, involuntary chatter that most of the time we don't even realize is happening.
Yeah, does that sound familiar? I mean, this internal monologue is just relentless. It's constantly narrating your life, judging, comparing, complaining, replaying the past, stressing about the future. It's honestly like having a roommate in your head that just will not shut up, ever. And we get so used to it, we kind of just tune it out, right? We don't even notice it's there. But Tolle's point is, that voice, that unobserved chatter, is the actual root of all our unhappiness. So Tolle gives this voice a name. He calls it the thinker. And here's the kicker. This is the fundamental mistake that basically all of us make. We think that voice is us. We believe we are the thinker. We've identified with it so completely, it's like we've forgotten the mind is supposed to be a tool. You know, something we use. Instead, the tool has completely taken over.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute core idea of the whole book. It's a really simple sentence, but man, the implications are just enormous. And it's this: you are not your mind. And this is the big consequence of that mistake, of identifying with our minds. We stop seeing reality for what it is. Instead, we see our mind's version of it. It's like we're looking at the world through this screen, this filter of constant thoughts, labels, and judgments, and that screen of mental noise creates this false self, what he calls the ego. And it's what separates us, you know? It cuts us off from our true selves, from other people, and from the world around us.
So this begs the question, right? If you're not your mind, then who the heck are you? And the difference here is, well, it's everything. You see, you're not the thinker. You're the silent watcher behind the thinker. You're not the endless stream of thoughts. You are the deep consciousness that's aware of those thoughts. You're not trapped in what he calls psychological time, all that past and future stuff. You're actually rooted in presence, in the now. And ultimately, you're not this false, mind-made self. You're a much deeper state of being.
Okay, but why does any of this really matter? I mean, who cares if we think we're our mind? Well, because living this way, living through the mind, traps us in what Tolle calls the tyranny of time. And trust me, that creates some very, very real pain. Seriously, just think about your own mind for a second. When is it ever truly here? Right now. It's almost never. It's always digging up old regrets, replaying arguments from years ago, or it's jumping ahead, creating anxiety about a future that doesn't even exist yet. This obsession with a past that's gone and a future that isn't real, Tolle says this is the insanity of psychological time, and it is the perfect breeding ground for basically all negativity.
And one of the biggest, most concrete results of living in the psychological time is the creation of something he calls the pain body. So what is that? Well, it's basically the leftover junk, the residue of every single painful thing that's ever happened to you that you didn't fully process at the time. And here's the crazy part. It's not just a memory. Tolle describes it as a living, negative energy field that literally lives inside you.
And this pain body is sneaky. For the most part, it just lies dormant, sleeping. But then, some little thing, a comment someone makes, a tiny inconvenience, can just wake it right up. And once it's active, it's like it possesses you. It starts feeding on your negative thoughts, making you become that old pain all over again. And the really insidious part? It goes looking for more pain. It wants to create drama and conflict because that's how it feeds itself. It actually wants to suffer. So yeah, it sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? We've got this compulsive voice in our heads creating a fake self, and we're trapped in this cycle of suffering, always stuck in the past or the future. But what if this whole prison, what if it's all just an illusion? What if the key to getting out was way, way simpler and closer than we could ever imagine? And this right here is where we finally get to the title of the book. Because the escape, the solution, the only place life ever actually happens is in the present moment. It's the now. I mean, just think about this for a second. Your whole life, it isn't this giant timeline of past and future. Your entire life is actually only ever happening in one single moment. This one, right now. The past, that's just a memory that you are having, now. The future, that's just an idea you are imagining, now. The only real thing you ever have, the only reality, is this present moment.
You know, throughout the book, every so often, Tolle puts in this little symbol. It's his way of telling the reader to just pause, to take a moment and step out of the river of thoughts and just be present. So let's try that. Let's just do it right now. For the next few seconds, let's just be here, together, in silence.
That feeling right there, that little bit of stillness, even if it was just for a second, that's it. That's a taste of what Tolle calls presence. It's that state you get into when you pull your awareness back from all the mental noise and you just become the silent watcher in the background. That's the goal. That right there is freedom.
Okay, but presence can sound a little out there, a bit abstract. So how do we actually bring this into our day-to-day lives? Well, the good news is Tolle gives us a super simple, really practical first step that you can start doing like right now.
And it really is incredibly simple. All you have to do is start listening to that voice in your head as often as you can remember to. But here's the key. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, don't condemn it, just listen to it impartially, like you're listening to a bird singing outside. Just be a neutral witness. And as you keep doing this, something amazing starts to happen. You start noticing these little gaps, these moments of silence between the thoughts. And in those little gaps of no mind, that's where you find real peace.
And this is the whole game changer, right here. The moment you listen to a thought, you're not just aware of the thought anymore. You're also aware of yourself as the one watching the thought. A whole other dimension of consciousness just came online. You've created space. There's the thought, and then there's you, watching it. And in that space, the thought just loses all its power over you. It can't pull you in anymore.
And like Tolle says, this one simple act of witnessing, that's it. That's the beginning of the end for all that compulsive, nonstop thinking. You're not being possessed by your own mind anymore. You are actually taking back control of your consciousness, one moment, one thought at a time. So I'm going to leave you with this one last really powerful question from the book. Just for a second, forget about all your stuff, your bills, your job, your relationships, what Tolle just calls your life situation. Forget all that. Just bring all of your attention, 100%, into this exact moment. Not 5 minutes from now, not tomorrow morning, but right now. And ask yourself honestly, in this very instant, do you have a problem?